Um, Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Cloud Computing webinar hosted by DYPMS and IACSD. I hope I'm audible to everyone. So let me give the brief about what about the IACSD, DY Patil Pratishthan, and IACSD. Let me introduce myself. My name is Deepak Shinde. I work as the marketing manager at IACSD. I take care admission and marketing for the institute. So let's go and understand what about the DY Patil Pratishthan group is. So the Pratishthan founded in 1991 is committed to noble cause for education in the disciplines such as medicine, Ayurveda, homeopathy, physiotherapy, engineering, architecture, IT, pharmacy, art, science, commerce, and management. DY Patil Group has created educational facilities of international standard at Pune, Kolhapur, and Mumbai. It caters to the education needs of more than 50,000 Indian and foreign students. DYPMS was established in 2004, located in the center of Pune, in the Akurdi. If we talk about the DYPMS, so MBA Institute this institute is committed to providing the very best education and to become the top MBA college in Pune. It's a permanently affiliated with the Savitribai Phule Pune University, which called as SPPU. The institute is housed in the spacious and plus building located in 1.25 acres land in the Akurdi area. We also National Board of Accreditation NBA and with the NAC accreditation, the period of 2015 to 2022. If we talk about the IACSD, IACSD is an authorized training center of CDAC Acts. Institute for Advanced Computing Software Development, IACSD was set up in 1990 to impart quality training in the high-end technology to exist and prospective users of advanced computing. Center for Development and Advanced Computing CDAC is a premier R&D organization of the Ministry of Electronics and IT for carrying R&D in IT electronics in the associate area. At IACSD, we nurture and develop skilled manpower in the field of IT to provide quality and latest information in the field of technology. At IACSD, we offer these courses. The first course, which called as a pre-CAT, which is a preparatory course for CDAC's entrance exam, which called as the CDAC. Basically, we offer three courses: PGDAC, PGDBTA, and PGDTIS. We also offer the certification course, which called as Certification Course in Data Science. With this introduction, I would like to welcome you, Mrs. Sushma Hattarki. She'll be taking care of the today's webinar. She holds the master degree in electronics and telecommunication engineering, carrying more than 6 years of experience in the field of networking. And she is a course coordinator for DT's course. So I would like to request, ma'am, please take over the session.
Yeah, good morning, all of you. So, as introduced Deepak sir, myself Sushma Hattarki, I'm going to take a webinar on cloud computing. So let's start with our presentation. Okay, so today's webinar is on cloud computing. So the content of this webinar is containing the first cloud, then cloud computing, cloud deployment model, then which services cloud provides, then AWS and Azure is also there, but we are going to take AWS and AWS services. Then we'll see some DevOps and DevOps tools. Okay, so without wasting the time, we'll directly start with the cloud. So day by day, we are hearing that cloud is the latest technology and it is widely used. So what is that cloud exactly means? So the cloud refers to the network or the internet, means it is nothing but the network or the internet. And we can also say in the other words, it is something like which is at the remote location, and we are using that services or some facilities which are provided by cloud from any remote locations. Means if I am uh, created that thing from ISSD, and if I want to use that thing from my house, then cloud gives the facility. Then cloud can provide service over the network on public network or on private networks, that is WAN, LAN, and VPN. Then also some applications like email, web conferencing, then customer relationship management. These all things all run on the cloud. Then this is about the cloud. Then what is cloud computing? So cloud computing, it is nothing but the manipulating, configuring, and accessing the applications. The applications which we are created on the cloud and which deployed on the cloud, these all applications can be manipulated, configure, and access by using the cloud. That is nothing but the cloud computing. The services or the applications like data storage, infrastructure, and some applications. Then cloud computing is the combination of software and hardware based cloud resources delivered as a network services. So software plus hardware means what? Software means if we created one application, that is a software, and hardware means if we created some virtual machines, that is the virtual hardware, we can say like that. So cloud computing is the combination of software plus hardware, and it is the on-demand delivery. It is on-demand delivery of compute power, database storage applications, and it is also okay. Sorry for the disturbance. Internet connection is lost. So we'll continue with Deepak sir. Are you there?
Yes, ma'am. Your host now.
Okay. So as I told, cloud computing is the pay as you go service. Means we'll pay for that services which we are using or which we need. Only we'll pay for that. Then cloud deployment models. Cloud deployment models, it is nothing but the types of cloud computing also. Why? Because not all types of cloud are useful for everyone. So not all clouds are the same, and no single type of cloud computing is right for everyone. So there are different types of cloud deployment model. As per the requirement, we will use these models, that is public cloud, private cloud, and then hybrid cloud. So first we'll see what is the public cloud. So these are the some examples of public cloud. AWS, Microsoft Azure, Salesforce. These are the public clouds. So these are third party. These are third party cloud service providers, which they will deliver their computing resources like servers or any type of the storage over the internet. So these types of services they will deliver, and the name itself suggests that they are the public, means they are openly available, they are open to everyone, so anybody can access that cloud and they will pay as per their requirements. So these are the public clouds. Then next is the private cloud. So in contrast of the public cloud, private cloud is there. So again there are some examples: IBM, HP, that is Havel Packard, Oracle, VMware, and Dell. So these are the some examples of public cloud. But as I told, they are contrast to the public cloud, but they are available to the public for specific organization. Means if I am from ISCSD, then I can use that cloud of ISCSD. Means the whole ISCSD staff will use that ISCSD cloud. So it is publicly for that organization only. And these types of cloud can manage internally. Means only ISCSD will manage that cloud. So these are the private clouds. Then hybrid cloud. Hybrid cloud is nothing but the private cloud plus public cloud. So it is the combination of public cloud and private cloud. Means the services allowing the data and the applications. The services which are allowed by private and public cloud, they can merge with each other as per the requirement, and then it becomes the hybrid cloud. So these types of cloud gives the greater flexibility than previous two, private and public, because as per the requirement we are using that cloud. So hybrid cloud is the one of the best type of cloud in between private and public. Then there are cloud service models. So I think most of you are heard that AS, PaaS and SaaS, right? Yes, AAS, PAAS and IaaS. So we'll see what is SaaS. That is application and data. It is nothing but the software as a service. Software as a service, the name itself says that it will provide only the software. The cloud provider will provide software only. Then other required part will that organization part. So client will use that software only from the cloud, and other things will manage by the client only. Then next is PaaS, that is platform as a service. Means it will provide the platform. So there is no control over the architecture, including the operating system, storage, or any type of servers. And these types of cloud providers gives the ability to customer to deploy customer created apps using programming language and tools. So any type of programming language and tools they can deploy on these types of model. Then next is the AaaS, that is infrastructure as a service. So here networking, storage, and virtualization servers are there. So it provides the virtualized computing resources over the internet. And there is no any type of worries about the physical machines. So if user want to abstract some data from the physical machine, then they can abstract. So we'll take one example for this SaaS, PaaS, and AaaS. That is most popular example, pizza. So if we order a pizza and then we'll eat, so that is the SaaS. Means all integrants which are used to bake a pizza, these all are from pizza provider. So that is SaaS. Means just we order, just like a software we order and we'll use that software. So all the coding part or the developing part is that provider part. Then PaaS means if we are going to hotel and then order a pizza and then eat. Means we are doing some efforts to go to hotel and then order that pizza and then we'll eat. Like a platform as a service. So provide a cloud provider who provide the platform and then deploy the software and use. That is platform as a service. And then AaaS means we are baking our own pizza with all the ingredients. Means whole things which are required to make one software, these all are provided by the client only. That is AaaS, infrastructure as a service. So these are the clouds and cloud services, cloud deployment models and cloud services. Then the most popular and most used technology or service provider, cloud provider is a AWS, Amazon Web Services. Again, Azure is there, but most popularly we are using AWS because the pricing is low as compared to the Azure. And most of the free services are available in the AWS. And for education purpose, AWS is popularly used. So AWS is, as you all know, AWS, Amazon is also there. So it is started in 1995. It is started in 1995 by Jeff Bezos. And he first started the online bookstore. After that, he is selling some DVDs, CDs, videos, MP3s, download, streaming, and some softwares, video games, electronics, apparels, and after that, furniture, food, toys, and nowadays jewelry is also there. There is one product of Amazon, that is Kindle ebook reader and Kindle Fire tablet computer. And after that, he will launch the, in 2006, Amazon launched the AWS. And nowadays, it becomes a more popular cloud provider. So what is AWS? AWS, Amazon Web Service, is a secure cloud service platform offering a compute power, database storage, content delivery, and other functionalities. So it provides various types of storages, various types of services, which are widely used over the internet. And it is also used in various geographical regions. Each region is wholly contained the single country and all of its data and service stay within that designated region. And each region has multiple availability zone, which are distinct data center provider AWS service. Availability zones are isolated from each other to prevent outage from spreading between zones. However, several services operate across availability zone. So availability zone means what? If Pune is one region, and in that region, if we created some services, then that services are available for any availability zone, or we can suggest to, or we can add it to use from Mumbai also. So these are the availability zones. Then some services which are provided by the Amazon Web Services, that is compute. So compute is the main service offered by the AWS. So it is like a IaaS, infrastructure as a service. It is IaaS. Then for storage and content delivery, it provides some services for database, for networking, for management tool, for security and identity, for application service, and then developer tools. So these are some major services which are provided by the AWS. So we'll see these services on AWS. So just give me 1 second so that I will share you the screen. Yes. So see, I just log in with my account. So if you want to create your account, just see sign out. So you just type the AWS. Okay. If you want to create a new AWS account, then click here, create AWS account. And then all these things you need to fill, verify email address. They will send you one mail to your email, and then verify that. And after that, it will ask for your debit card entries. It will deduct your 2 rupees from your account, and after 2 days, it will credit it to your account. And after creating the account, the console will be like this. So this is the console of AWS. If we click on services, then there are various services which we are going to see. And see here at the right side, here your name, and here is the region. Which region you want to create a service, you want to add a service, you want to create virtual machines, you need to select that one and then create. So if I am a client, I am a user, then I can create 2 or 3 virtual machines in Mumbai region. Then again, another region, if I want to create, then I can create. So this is the most important facility from the AWS. Now, if I click on the services, see there are services which I told you. So first we'll see the compute. So in compute, there are various services. That is Elastic Compute Cloud, Elastic Beanstalk, Lambda, Lightsail, EC2, container services. These are some important compute services. These all are present here. EC2, Lambda, Lightsail. So what is EC2? So EC2 is nothing but a virtual servers in the cloud. It is elastic cloud compute. So by using this EC2, we can launch a virtual machines or virtual instances on cloud. So it is scalable service, which that means the size of the instance can be changed at any time according to the requirement. If I create a virtual machine using 8 GB RAM and now I want 16 GB RAM, then physically it is hard to add that RAM, extra RAM, but virtually it is possible. Just you need to pay for that. So by using this EC2, we can launch different type of virtual machines based on the different types of operating systems, like Windows based, Linux based, or Mac based. And this EC2 provides the infrastructure in all regions and all availability zones according to our requirement. So these are the EC2 instances. Then next, as I told, elastic beanstalk. So what it shows, run and manage the web app. So this EB is used to create an application and upload the version in form of application bundle. So it can automatically launches an environment to create and configure the AWS resources to run any type of the code. So that purpose EB is used. Then next is the Lambda. Lambda is run code without thinking about the server. So AWS Lambda allows us to write the function to run the code as per the demand. So this is nothing but the, it only meant for short executions of code. Then after that, AWS storage services. So AWS storage service contains the simple storage service, that is S3. It is also known as S3 bucket. Then elastic block storage, that is EBS. Elastic file system, EFS. Amazon FX for Lustre. Then Amazon S3 Glacier, FSX. And then storage gateway. So see where these services are in the console. Storage. So here these services are present. So S3 is scalable storage in the cloud. So it can use, or this is a service for storage. It can store any type of the data and any size of data. It can store data for any business, like if you want to store any web application, mobile applications, or some backups, or some analytical part we need to store, then S3 bucket is there. Then EBS, elastic block storage. So it is block storage. It is same like a SAN device. It is same like a SAN device, that is storage area network. It is one hardware device which will use to store a data within a network. So if we need to store a data in a network and anyone from the network need to access the data from the SAN, then it is possible. Why we need to use that device? Because in a computer, hard disk contains 1 TB storage, maximum 1 TB storage. And if I store here 5 GB storage, if I use the 500 GB storage, and everyone from that network need to access this storage, then this machine will getting slow down, or this machine will hang. To avoid this, we use the SAN device, storage area network. Like this only, virtual SAN device is the EBS. So it can attach with the EC2 instances to store that data. Then EFS. EFS is the elastic file system. It is managed network file system, and it is managed by using the AWS CLI, that is command line interface, or AWS console. Then when we need multiple instances to access the same file system at that time, this EFS will help. Then FSX. This is also a file system used for compute intensive workload. It is also a file system used to compute workload. Means the file size is very high. If 1 TB file is there and we need to operate that file, then this file system will help. This storage will help. Then next is Amazon S3 Glacier. It is mainly used for archival and long-term data storage. Then FSX for Windows file server. If we run some applications which are only deploy on the Windows operating system, or be specific softwares, some softwares are there which are run only on the Windows operating system, then this type of storage can used. Then AWS storage gateway. It is a simple way to on-premises application store and access that application or access that data into AWS cloud. So these are the storage services provided by the AWS. Then AWS database services. So see on AWS console, database, yes, AWS database services. So these all are the AWS database services, but we'll see some of them, that is Amazon RDS, Amazon DynamoDB, Elastic Cache, and Redshift. So RDS is nothing but the relational database. It is relational database. So it offers the cost-effective option for deploying the relational database. So by using this RDS, it can allow us to choose the instance type and storage capacity that is best fits our budget. Then DynamoDB. DynamoDB is fully managed by the NoSQL database service. And it is also low latency performance, so that it is high throughput, means output is high by using the DynamoDB. Then Elastic Cache. Elastic Cache redirects the data from primary to cache level. That is faster database, because cache memory is there. Cache memory is faster than other memories like hard disk and RAM. Cache memory registers, these are the highest speed than others. So Elastic Cache is faster database. Then Amazon Redshift. This is fully managed by data warehouse services, and it is used to running the complex queries. The queries which are more complex, for that purpose Redshift is used, and also it is used on the large data sets. So these are the database services. Then next is the AWS networking services. For networking purpose, these services are used. So C, networking. Yes. We'll see some of them. VPC, Direct Connect, Route 53 and CloudFront. So VPC is virtual private cloud. Virtual private cloud. It is the more secure. VPC is more secure because it allows to create the instance logically isolated virtual networks. Means this is AWS. Here we are creating the virtual machines. And by using the VPC, if we connect these machines, then again there is virtual connection. Or again we are creating the virtual cloud in that. So it is more secure. Then next is the direct connect. Direct connect means it connects the internal network to the AWS. Direct connect to that location using 1 GB, 1 Gbps, that is 1 gigabit or 10 gigabit. So it is faster. It is direct connect. Then CloudFront or Route 53. Route 53 is there. So Route 53 is the domain name or DNS service provided by the AWS. It is used for the DNS service. DNS service means domain name service. So if we need to create any website, then this Route 53 is used to convert that name to IP. What is the main function of DNS? It will convert it will map the IP to name and vice versa, name to IP. So this function is happened by using the Route 53 in AWS. So it is reliable and also scalable service. Then CloudFront. CloudFront is the content delivery network. It helps to deliver the content from one location to another. So Amazon CloudFront is the content delivery network. So these are some services provided by the Amazon for networking purpose. Then next is the management tool services. So management tool services. So these are the management tool services. Means to manage that service, to manage that instance, these services are used. So management tool services, first is the AWS Cloud Formation. It helps the user to manage and provision the entire infrastructure. The infrastructure which is created by the AWS or which is created on the AWS is managed by the AWS Cloud Formation by using different programming languages. Then AWS Service Catalog. So these catalogs helps the organization to manage catalog IT services. So some virtual machine, pictures, servers, softwares and database, these we created, all these things will be managed by these catalogs, AWS Service Catalog. Then Amazon CloudWatch. So Amazon CloudWatch, the most important service provided by management tool of AWS. Why? Because these can monitor entire resource. This can monitor entire cloud resource. So anything is happened within that network or within that virtual machines, then CloudWatch will inform that things to us. So CloudWatch is important. Then AWS config. So this service is allows to assess, audit, and judge the configuration of AWS resources. It will assess, audit, and judge the resources which we configured or which we used. AWS config will assist that services. Then AWS OopsWorks, which is the most popular tool or most popular service is used because this is related with the DevOps, which we'll cover in the next session, next PPTs. So it is related with the DevOps. So there are two tools from the DevOps, that is Chef. एक minute, spelling mistake is there. Chef and Puppet. These are the automation tools used in the DevOps. So these works with the AWS OopsWorks. And these two tools are managed by this service or these tools in AWS. So these are the management tools. Then AWS Security, Identity and Compliance Service. There is AWS IAM, Amazon Inspector, and AWS Shield. So the name itself says that this is the security related terms. So see, security, identity, and compliances. So these are the services. IAM. IAM is the manage access to AWS resource. That is identity and access management. So this is the powerful service that allows the users to manage the secure access of their AWS resource. At the time of login, if you've seen the screen, then there are two types of login. AWS root user and IAM user. So IAM user is the another user which is created in the AWS. So it can create and control the user identity and grant permission to the AWS services and resources. And also IAM can simplify the user's access management. Then Amazon Inspector, that is continually vulnerability management at the scale. So by using this Amazon Inspector, users discover and addresses security related issues and vulnerabilities in that application and also the resources. So it improves the security and the compliance of the AWS resources. Then AWS Shield. AWS Shield is managed by it protects against the DDoS attack and malicious web traffic. So DDoS attack means what? There are two types of attacks. There are two types of attacks. One is the DOS attack and another one is the DDoS attack. So DOS attack means if hacker is there and this is the Victim means this is our computer, this is our PC, and only one attacker will attack that PC, then that is DOS attack, denial of service. Then at the other hand, DDoS. DDoS means what? Number of attackers are there. Number of attackers are there and victim is only one. So at a time, everyone can attack on that machine. So that is distributed denial of service. So AWS Shield is managed by DDoS, DDoS protection. तो ये क्या कर रहा है? DDoS managed. It is managed by DDoS. So in that, DOS is also covered. So it is the safeguard application for running on the AWS. So any type of DDoS attack is there, then AWS Shield will help. So these are the AWS security, identity and compliances services. After that, AWS application integration services. So AWS SNS and Amazon SQS. So SNS means simple notification service. So it will, the name itself says that it is the notification service. So it is fully managed by the publisher and the subscriber, that is called as publisher and subscriber. It is fully managed by publisher and subscriber messaging service. So it this SNS will enables the easy and secure communication of messages between the distributed applications. The applications which are distributed, these are managed by the SNS. Then Amazon SQS, that is simple queue service, and it is managed by the queuing service. It is managed by queuing service within the AWS, and it can also transmit the volume of data, any volume of data at any level without losing the messages. So number of messages are there, number of services are there, then SQS is used, and for a single notification, SNS is used. So these are the application integrated services. These are also present in the application integration. Simple notification services, simple queue services. See, pub and sub, publisher and subscriber. Then AWS developing tools. AWS developing tools. So first, AWS CodeStar is there. So AWS CodeStar is used to deploy, build and deploy any application on the AWS. CodeStar is used. So it is quickly deploy the application. Then AWS Code Commit. So AWS Code Commit is provide the secure and scalable and private repository. It can use to develop a secure, scalable and private repositories. Then AWS pipeline, AWS code pipeline. It will release the software processes automatically, which allows to user to test and release the code. It allows the user to test and release the code. So the delivery is reliable. Delivery is reliable means once you start the delivery from one side to another, then it will send us the reply that the delivery is fulfilled or delivery is completed. Then AWS code build. So it is used to compile the source code and run some tests and produces software system packages. Then AWS code deploy. It will, the name itself says that it is used for the deployment. It is used for the deployment. So these are the services or more important services which are used in the AWS. Now we'll see how to create the instance on AWS, or which things are required to create the instance on AWS. So just give me a minute. Right. Okay. Yes, a difference between 1 and 5. So first is the code star. So code star is used to create a code. Code star is used to develop that software. And fifth one is for the deploy the software. Getting? Okay. So now we will going to see the instance, that is EC2, Elastic Cloud Compute. So Elastic Cloud Compute means we are creating the virtual machine on the AWS. For that, first we need AWS subscription. AWS subscription. As I shown you how to subscribe the AWS, then after that we'll go into the service and then create the EC2. EC2 means the virtual machine. Virtual machines means what? We are creating one computer virtually, and that machine I can use from anywhere. Okay, so see how to create that machine, virtual machine. So I am going into the services, then compute in that EC2 is there. And for that we need one key, that is private key. And also we need to create a private key. I will show how to create that key, private key. And also we need one software that is called Putty. To access this EC2, we need a software that is called Putty. So by using this, we'll get the console of that EC2 or CLI of that EC2. Okay, so already I installed the Putty software and I have AWS subscription. So these two things already I installed on the machine. Okay, so see here, here is one option, that is launch instance. So click on this launch instance. Now you need to give the name of that machine. So I use the name ICSD. Now, application and OS images means which type of operating system you need to install in that machine. So there are various operating systems available, but you need to check which are the free. Because if you use the paid operating system, then you need to pay. And also there is one facility with the Amazon. If you are a student of any institute, any college, then you need to show your iCard or you need to mail your iCard so that your billing charges will deducted. But you need to mail that iCard to them. Okay, so here I am using the Ubuntu operating system. Ubuntu is the one of the flavor of Linux operating system. So I use the Ubuntu. Then see, this is free tier eligible. Then 64-bit. If I want to change, then I want to change, but no need to change. I use the default one. Then instance type T2 micro. This is free tier available in T2 micro. One CPU, one processor is there, 1 GB memory. Now here we need to create a key. If you have already a key, then just drag and use that key. But if you don't have the key, then you need to create a key. Then give the name to that key. I again use the ICSD key. Here private key file format is there. So there are two formats, .pem and .ppk. So we are using the ppk. Why? Because we are going to use the putty. If we use the OpenSSH, then PEM is there. Previously, only PEM is there, and by using the puttygen, we need to convert it into the PPK. But nowadays, directly PPK is available. So I use the file format PPK and create key pair. So it is directly download. Now, no need to change in this. That allows SSH traffic, allow HTTPS, allow HTTP. So no need to change. Configure storage. If I want to add, then I can add, but no need. Now directly I click on the launch instance. Then instance is launching. It will take 1 minute is required. Within 30 seconds it is created. Now I go to instance. Now ICSD instance is there. So if I click on the ICSD instance, still the instance status is pending. Till the time I show you putty. So this is the putty configuration. Here, 1 minute, I will share my full screen so that you are able to see full screen. So ICSD is there. If I click on that ICSD, then all the related things to that instance is here. So I copy the public IPv4 address, because private IPv4 address is there. But now we are using the public IPv4 address so that we will connect to that machine. So I copied that address, and by using the putty, I paste that address here. Now I need to check with the key. So here SSH option, in SSH auth, in that private key file for authentication. Now here I need to browse that file. So ISESD is the key. Open. Okay, so click on open. Now it is asking, or it will shows you one alert message, the host key is not cached for this server. So I need to click on the accept. So accept. Now login as. So for Ubuntu machine, here username is Ubuntu. By default, username is Ubuntu. In AWS for Ubuntu operating system, Ubuntu is the default name. So authenticating with key, and now my console is open. So by using this way, I can use the instance which is created on the AWS. So here, if I create some files, then I can create. So I will create mkdir ICSD. Then see ls ICSD folder is there, directory is there. Then if I go into that directory, cd ICSD. Now I create one file, touch. So these all are the commands to create a file in Ubuntu. Mkdir is used, means it create one directory by using mkdir command, and after that, to enter into that ISESD folder, cd command is there, cd ISESD, so that I enter into that ISESD folder. Now I create one file. For that, touch command is there. So touch dts means it create one file. So now check ls dts is there. Now I want to write something into that file. Then I use nano dts. So if I write anything, hi, how are you today? And now, okay, so cat dts. So what I written in that file, hi, how are you today? Okay, so this is the way to access the machine, virtual machine, using the putty. Clear? If you have any doubt, then you can message into the chat box. Okay, so I just terminate that session and also stop that machine, stop instance, stop, and then terminate, because if I didn't terminate it, then it started the charges. Usage of VM virtual machine usage is like, suppose we are using the, just 1 minute. We are using physical machine. Okay, so this physical machine having hard disk of 500 GB, RAM is 8 GB. Okay, and one CPU is there, one processor is there. Now, as per my requirement, or as per the client requirement, I need to change this to 500 GB to 1 TB, then 8 GB to 16 GB. 8 GB to 16 GB. This is hard disk drive, HDD, and this is RAM. So I need to purchase that hard disk and install into machine, and again I need to purchase the RAM and I need to install that. But it requires time, and also the compatibility issue is there. Means I have purchased one hard disk which consists the 500 GB, but it is not compatible with my machine. Then again I need to go to the shop, and again I purchase, and again I check, I need to check. So all these things are happened, and at parallelly, at the same time, we need to carry that machine every time, everywhere, right? To avoid these all things, cloud is providing a platform where we can create a machines. Virtually, we can create a machines, and if I need to change that machine, then virtually I can able to add. Means see here, this is ICSD machine. Actually, I stopped. Add. So this is the benefit of virtual machines. To shut down the virtual machine directly, instance state stops instance. By using that, we can shut down the machine. So as per the industry demand, AWS certification is there, and Azure certification is also there. So in that, the services which I explained, these all you need to know, and practical information is also you need to know. Okay, so we are going to our next point. So the next and the important technology, that is DevOps. So DevOps, it contains the dev and the ops. But before that, we will see the models which are previously used. So the first is the waterfall model. Waterfall model is previously used before the DevOps. So what in waterfall model, what happened? Requirements. If we are designing or if we are developing one software, for that, first step is the requirement. We need to know the requirements, and then design that software. Then develop that software. Then test that software, and then deploy. And after deploy, outcomes are there, right? So the waterfall model is like the cliff of the step mountain. Means once the water has flowed over the edge, it cannot turn back. Like that, waterfall is there. So there is a high amount of risk and uncertainty. So it is not suitable for the projects where the requirements are at the moderate and high risk of changing. There is one example. if we need to create one software, and we seen the requirement, we design that software, we develop that software, we test that software, and we deployed that software. Okay, and at the end, if we check, we miss the close button, then what will happen? We miss out with the close button. Then again we will come to the first step, that is first requirement step. So the whole cycle will repeat in waterfall. Then next, so to overcome this, agile methodology is there. So what happened in agile methodology? The project is broken into the small pieces, that is called as a iteration. That is called as a iteration, and each iteration having some time duration. It may be 1 week, 2 week, 3 week, or number of weeks as per the project. Then at the end of each iteration, there is a feedback. At the end of each iteration, that product is delivered and feedback is taken. So what will happen at the end of each iteration? If feedback is taken, then if the changes are there, then they will come back to there, and again this iteration will repeat. Right? But again the problem is, here deployment is not continuous. So the developer and operation team, developer and operation, two teams are there. So they need to work with each other. Means there is no stability in between developer and operation. Like we are using Instagram. Okay, sorry, break हो गया. Screen is visible? Yes. So we are using the Instagram, and at regular basis some updates are there. Or we can use the WhatsApp also. In WhatsApp, at regular basis some updates are there. Means some button is there, it goes towards the upward, like these changes are there. So it needs every time it repeat the iteration. It need to repeat the iteration. So agile methodology is need the stability between development and operation team. So to overcome these drawbacks of waterfall and agile, DevOps is there. So in DevOps, it bridges the development and operation. It bridges the part between the development and operation. So there is plan, code, build, test, release, deploy, operation, and monitor. These all things are doing parallelly. So DevOps is not a methodology. Sorry, DevOps is a methodology, not a terminology. It is a methodology, not a terminology. And DevOps using various tools in various terms, like for planning, for code, for build, for test, release, deploy, operation, and monitor. So these are the some tools which are used for deploying, or from the development to the deployment, and also the monitor the software. So these are some steps in DevOps, that is plan, code. For planning and coding, there are the tools Git, Subversion, Jira. These tools are used to plan and code and to build Maven, CAPTCHA and Gradle. These are the tools. Then for testing, Selenium and JUnit is there. Then to deploy, Docker, Vagrant, Puppet, Chef, SaltStack and Ansible. To deploy and operate, these tools are used. And to monitor that, so ELK, Stack, Splunk and Nagios is used. This is the development and operation. And to communicate that, integration is in between that. And to integration, Bamboo, Hudson and Jenkins is used. But most popular, Jenkins is used because this is freely available. For Bamboo and Hudson, they are the paid services, but Jenkins gives most of the free services. Means we are creating some software that is called as a CI/CD pipeline. CI/CD, that is continuous integration and continuous deployment. For that integration purpose, Jenkins is most popularly used. So it is not possible to show each and every term within the 2 hours. So I will just show you Git and Jenkins, how they are working. Okay. So for that, see, for Git, I am going to use one machine, which is base machine, or I install that machine on VMware. In that I installed one virtual machine, which is Ubuntu machine. And now that machine is connected with this machine is used for the Git. And that machine is connected with the GitHub. And that GitHub is connected with Jenkins. So Jenkins is nothing but to communicate with that Jenkins, again I used one virtual machine which is on AWS. So see what I did. I created one machine on VMware. VMware software is installed in my laptop. I created one machine for Git, and GitHub is the online storage of the repositories. So I use that repository. I connect that GitHub to my Git machine, and then this GitHub is connected to Jenkins using the AWS virtual machine. So at the prerequisites, I need to install the Git, but I already installed that. I already created one repository on GitHub, and I already installed Jenkins machine on AWS. Okay, so just I will show you. Just 1 second, I will share my whole screen. Yeah. So see, this is my virtual machine. So before that, what is Git? Git is a open source version control system, and also it is distributed version control system. So if I need to create any repositories, then I use the GitHub, and it will connect to the Jenkins. Jenkins is the integration tool. Okay, so I am logging to the Git machine. So see here, ls, I created one ISCSD folder, cd ISCSD, then ls test file is there. So nano test, I written HTML code for web page. Okay, nano test. Now this test file is, will check this file is on the repository or not. But already I did that. So now I am changing some context of that content of that file, and then I will show you. Okay, see, before that GitHub is there. Here I created one repository, it name test new, and my username is, see here, Sushma Dittis. That is my username. So again back to Ubuntu machine. Here again nano test. So here I will change something, my web page, instead of that my webinar. Okay, so Control O, enter, Control X. So cat test, see the changes. Yes, my webinar is there. Okay, now I will check the git status. So git status, so it is showing that modified test, but it is in the red, means git status is not updated. For that I need to add git add test. Test is the file name. So git add file name. Added. Then again check the git status. Now it is in the green, means it is modified. Then I need to commit. See, I will tell you some things. In git, first we created folder, that name ICSD, then one file in that folder, that is test, and write content in test. Okay, and then we need to init that git, but I already init that git. I connected with the GitHub already by using my mail ID and token. So these all things are in the DevOps session, but we are just taking the overview of DevOps so that I directly showing you the output. Yeah. Now git commit, and for that some message I want to write, then webinar check. Okay, that message I am displaying, and for which file? For test file. Okay, one insertion is there. So again go to our GitHub. Here if I refresh it, then there is only check to, which is 1 hour ago. So till now there is no any type of committees happened or come from the Git machine. So for that I need to connect with this again, but I need the GitHub link. So code, here HTTPS link is there. So I copied that link. Coming back to my machine, and now I write git remote add origin. Now paste that link, which is the repository link, and then enter the. So remote origin already exists. Now I need to push the changes which is happened in that machine to the GitHub. So git push origin master. So it is asking for the username. So username is, okay, enter. Now it is asking for the password, but here we are not giving it a password. Here we need to give a token, or here in settings, developer setting, personal access token, token classic. This token I created, I think yesterday, yes. And I copied that token. So that token I enter into that machine. Okay. So here I created. So that token I entered here, paste. It is not visible because it is a password type. Okay. So push is completed. So see, 100%, 5 out of 5. Now we will go to our GitHub. Come to our repo. And webinar check is there. Means new commit is happened. New commit is there, which is 3 minutes ago. Okay, so this is the GitHub. Is it screen is visible?
Yes.
So webinar check is there. So I did the changes in that. Okay, now I forget to tell you one thing, that is how to create a repository. So here, new repository name, if I enter the name demo2 and it is in public, and create a repository, that's it. Okay, the new repository is created, but I'm using test new because already I configured it. And here that repository link is changes per repository. So if I am using demo2, then demo2 having the another link. Test new having another link. Okay, now yes, how to create that token. Okay, so for that, go to the settings. See here, I click the right side corner, settings. Then in that, developer setting, which is the last option, click on that. Personal access token, token, classic. Generate new token, classic. Just name that, enter the password. note means just give the name webinar so that I will delete it, and give which access to them. You can use that, or you can tick all the options, no issues, then generate the token. But this token is only once visible. Huh? For that, you need to copy that token and save into anywhere. Once it disable, then you are not able to see that token again. Like this. This test is there. It is showing the name under the test, but it will not show you any type of password. Okay. Test new. Yeah, I am here. Webinar check is there. That commit is completed. Now, we'll see the Jenkins. For that, AWS. Second, where is AWS? Yeah, here only. Yes. So I created one instance that named as a Jenkins 2 by using the private IP. By using public IP. I connected with that machine using putty. This is inactive. So that restart the session. Login as Ubuntu. Okay. And for this, the prerequisites are we need to install the Jenkins. And to install the Jenkins, some commands are there. You can check that command on download Jenkins. So here, Ubuntu will need to check the Ubuntu. Yes, Ubuntu. So all these commands are need to run on the virtual machine or instance, and then we will install the Jenkins. So I already run these commands. So Jenkins is installed. Now I check the status of Jenkins. So sudo systemctl status Jenkins. So it is active running, enabled. Okay, so Jenkins is running. Now I check the IP, but here no need to check the IP because it is running by the public IP. So here username and password is required. So already I set the username as ISCSD. First time when you run the Jenkins, at that time it will ask to set a username and password. So I set ISCSD as a username, and password I will not tell you. Sign in. Okay, so this is the web page of Jenkins. Actually, I already added the web project, webinar project. Internet is little bit slow. These all things are happened on the internet only. That's why these are the automation tools. Okay. So first I will show you how to create or how to connect that GitHub with the Jenkins. So here new item. Okay. We need to give the name. Then freestyle project or pipeline project we need to mention. If we are doing the CI/CD pipeline, then we click on the pipeline. Or if we are freestyle project, means just to check that project we are using Jenkins, then freestyle project, and then okay. Okay, then here we will add source code management option is there. So here we click on the Git and we need to enter the repository URL. Repository URL is here, code, and this is the URL. This URL we need to copy and paste it here. Then GitHub hook, trigger for GIT pulling. That option we need to tick and directly save. Okay, after applying and saving that, we will come like this. Actually, I already created and already entered that link in my webinar project. So I coming back towards the webinar project and I commit one, I already committed. What is that commit message? Webinar commit, I think, na? So we'll check with that only. See here, test is there. But webinar project, in that I entered the repository URL and all things. So I'm going into that item webinar project. And now I will build. Okay. So build now is there. So if I click on build now, then you can see here, there is a third commit. Third building process is there. Previously, second is there. See, first we'll see the second one. In that second, what I did, see, console output, check 2. Check 2 is my previous commit. So see, that check 2 is the commit message, previous commit message, which was success. Okay, so now I am building for a new commit, which is webinar commit. Webinar check. Webinar check is the new commit. So we'll check if the Jenkins is connected with the GitHub, then only that commit will come into the Jenkins. So build now. See here, yeah, it is completed. Now if I click on that, okay, webinar check means new commit is there. Clear? So if I again commit for the new, then it will automatically reflect into the Jenkins. So in console output, yes, in console output, webinar check, and this is successful. If that commit is failed, then it will show the failed message, and also it will show the error where the error is happened. Okay, so there are lots of things in the Git, Jenkins, and also the Docker. Again, yes, suppose if I connected here one more machine for a Docker, and I can able to deploy that test to Docker. For that, I need to connect Jenkins with Docker. I need to communicate Jenkins with Docker by using the private and public keys. So need to add the private key of Docker into Jenkins, and private key of Jenkins into the Docker. These whole things are in the DevOps session. Actually, this is the cloud computing session, but I just given an overview of DevOps. And again, the same thing will we can do that in Git. Test file is there. In that test file, HTML code, I written one HTML code. I created one web page. So that web page also show by using the public IP address of client machine. So I want to deploy that code, then it is possible. Okay, so I told you the overview of the DevOps and also the cloud computing, some cloud services. So I hope you understood the things. So some questions are there related to recordings. So Deepak sir will follow the questions. Sir, are you there? Deepak sir. So till the time, if you have any doubt related to this webinar, then you can ask.
Yes, I have a question.
Yes.
So is DevOps important to learn while learning cloud computing? Like, is it necessary to learn DevOps as well?
Actually, it is based on your job profile. If
Okay.
your company wants only AWS, then you can learn only AWS.
Okay.
Or if they want Azure, then you need to learn the Azure. And also, if you are going with some certifications of DevOps, then there is not all tools are included in one certificate. So only Git certification is there, only Jenkins certification is there, only Docker certification is there. Also, there is one another tool which was not mentioned, that is Terraform. So Terraform is also
Okay.
a big certification for your company. So it, I think in Terraform
Okay. And one more
infrastructure.
thing. So,
Yes, ask.
oh,
Yes.
yeah. So currently I'm working as a data analyst and mainly working on SQL. So if I want to transition into cloud computing, will that will SQL knowledge will help or not, or like to learn from basics,
Yeah,
restart from
you
like
can
if I want to
start
learn
with
cloud
the
computing.
you can start with the cloud computing.
So will there be SQL there in the cloud? So if I want to learn only the database concepts on cloud or SQL concepts, so is there anything that I can move from SQL to cloud SQL or cloud database?
No, actually in AWS, all these services are present. So AWS certification learnt you all these things. Database
Okay, there
also,
will be.
compute also,
Okay,
and networking also, all these things. But
okay.
your company
And
will
so to
decide at what position they will locate you. So if you are
okay,
handling the database, then you can work on that. But for the certification, you need to learn all these things.
okay. And is it mandatory to have a certificate like AWS certificate passing the exam to get a job in cloud computing, or just
It is not
the knowledge?
mandatory, but some companies will ask for the certificate.
Oh,
That's
okay,
why most of the
okay,
people will complete the certification.
okay. And like, do the IICST provide cloud computing course, full course?
Yeah, Deepak sir
Anshul,
will assist
yes.
you.
Okay,
Anshul,
okay,
I'm audible.
sure.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
yes.
we are offering the data science course, in which we cover all this model like SQL, cloud computing, machine learning, Python in depth. Like we are offering 300 hours program, which help you to work in the field of data science. You can upgrade.
Okay,
Okay.
understood.
And
Understood.
about the recording, those who have attended today's session, we'll share the drive link on your email address. So if we have any more question from participants, the forum is open to us.
Can you help me with the cloud computing course, AWS course, like the
Yes, Anshul. So what we'll
period of
do?
the course and how much?
Sure. So what we'll do? I'll have your contact number. Okay, right. So we'll be sharing all the detail on your WhatsApp number, and we'll discuss
Okay,
in detail, which program you're looking for and what sort of skills which you required in the to get in the
Okay.
field of cloud computing. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Thank you.
Yes, there is one question that is, can freshers start a career in cloud computing? Yes, you can start, but for that, the prerequisites are you need to know about the operating systems, because you seen in the Ubuntu operating system, there are some commands. So all these commands you need to aware.
Okay, so if we don't have any question, so we'll conclude the session. Okay, you'll receive a link from our end on your email, where you can find the recording and with the certificates also for participants. So I would like to request all the participants to, share the feedback. And thank you so much, Sushma ma'am, to delivering the wonderful session. And thank you so much, participants. Last 2 hours, you will be joining the session, which was conducted by ISCSD and DYPMS. So thank you so much, everyone. So we'll conclude the session. Ma'am, please end the meeting.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, all of you.